Good morning to you and welcome to Friday, February the 6th today, and our daily Devo for the day today. Today's devotion, we're still on the marriage trail here, and this one's entitled Two Sinners Under One Roof. And if you've had kids, you can probably up the number on that one. Colossians 3:13, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Quoting from Hauerwas is in the last Devo yesterday. He says this: it gives us the first reason that no two people are compatible for marriage, namely, that marriage profoundly changes us. But there is another reason. Any two people who enter into marriage are spiritually broken by sin, which, among other things, means to be self-centered. And now we have a Latin phrase that I really don't know how to pronounce or what it means. Who enter into marriage are spiritually broken by sin, which, among other things, means to be self-centered, living life incurvatus in se. As author Dennis de Rogamont said, why should neurotic, selfish, immature people suddenly become angels when they fall in love? That is why a good marriage is more painfully hard to achieve than athletic or artistic prowess. Raw natural talent does not enable you to play baseball as a pro or write great literature without enduring discipline and enormous work. Why would it be easy to live lovingly and well with another human being in light of what is profoundly wrong within our human nature? Indeed, many people who have mastered athletics and art have failed miserably at marriage. And so the biblical doctrine of sin explains why marriage, more than anything else that is good and important in this fallen world, is so painful and hard. In reading these devotions, and if you haven't married yet, but you're dating someone or you've become engaged to someone, you really want to be serious about what you're thinking of doing. Again, that premarital counseling needs to be done. You need to have your eyes opened up to points in marriage that traditionally have strained marriages, money issues, raising the kids, disciplining of the kids, those kinds of things are all, that we all have different opinions on those. And if I go one way on something and the spouse goes the other way, well, then we've got issues. And we're going to maybe hold a grudge. Maybe we're going to argue. Maybe we're going to display anger at one another. And hopefully, eventually, we're forgiving one another as well, because we are two sinners, literally two sinners under one roof. And sometimes that sinful side of us takes over, and we end up doing things or saying things, or not doing things and not saying things that cause division between a husband and wife. And so I think these are tough ones. I have to tell you, I'm surprised at this little section here, which is entitled "The Meaning of Marriage," and we all know what that is. It's just that we may not be aware of how hard it's going to be once we leave home, and now we're in our own home. And instead of living with a mother and father that we have known for X number of years, we're now living with another person who we just met and maybe only got to know each other for a year or 2 years before we said the I do's at the altar. Two sinners under one roof says a lot to me. And it's not that that problem cannot be dealt with. It says to me, be on guard for yourself and your attitudes and the way you think about your spouse and the things that he or she might say or the priorities he or she might have that don't line up. And that happens. That happens a lot. And it is hard work. It is hard work to let your lifestyle be changed so that it fits in with your spouse and you can get along in harmony if you're willing to make the sacrifice in those things. I knew a guy who loved to go hunting, loved to go fishing, loved to do all those kinds of things. And then he got married, and he still wanted to do those things. He still wanted to go hunting with his friends, fishing with his friends, out on the motorcycles together with his friends, and never really asked his wife how she felt about it. He wasn't ready to give himself to her in marriage, per se, because he still wanted to do the things he wanted to do. And that is divisive in a marital relationship. So don't let the sinner side come through as you're learning to get along with your new spouse and make the family work in a peaceful, loving way. Make sure you're in the Word. Make sure you are praying together, doing those things together, showing caring and love for each other, and that helps control that sinful nature. So blessings to you today, and if need be, work on that marriage, or be there for your children when they leave home and get married and run into the same difficulties that all young couples can run into once they say the I do at the altar. Because when you're dating, let's be honest, when you're dating, you know a certain part of that other person. You know there are some things you like about them, and that's why you want to get married to them. But then you get married, and now some other issues show up in their lives and in their behavior. And early on, you may be going for marital counseling quickly. So blessings to you today. Yes, marriage can be hard and difficult, and that's why it takes working on it together to be a team. The two shall become one. And that's the plan that God had in mind when he first created Adam, and then he looked and said, hey, he needs help. Let's give him a woman. And that didn't work out so well, but maybe it was because they didn't talk together enough. And it's work, but it's worth it. Trust me, it is absolutely worth it. Blessings to you today.